Hello, everybody, and welcome today to our Qbest session today. So sponsored by South Academy. Thank you very much for your attending. Right now, in according to your votes that have been sent through email at South Academy, it shows that the highest trend that most of the candidates are interested into the technology area. So I have decided to present you the MS project, right, and to be one of the scheduling tools for the AD tool for the project managers, right, and for the technical teams, right, in their use for scheduling their projects and as well for forming the resource utilizations and even to add their activities to the Gantt chart, right, and display their network diagram and using the schematic charts. So hope that the session will be great one for you all. And let's get started. Between activities, the success and predecessor in between activities, calculating the as well the budgeting for your estimated completion, your TCPI, right, total cost performance index, your cost variance, your schedule variance, your CPI, okay, and all of those functionalities used for calculating and under determining the project status, whether it's on budget or on schedule, behind schedule, or on schedule, or either under, ahead of schedule, or behind schedule. So today we're gonna be exploring first of all the settings for the MS project, and the most important thing is that the second part, which is the setting the calendar schedule for a project. Okay, so first of all, in order to go to the settings, right, it's very important that you determine the settings of the project. So by clicking onto the file, right, and going to the last part of the tabs, which is the options, right, you will have a project options where you have a screen, right. It will explain for you the general of the project, right. So the general options for working with the project. So I need, for example, to have a tooltip, okay, on a certain item, okay. So if I choose the feature of having a tooltip while I'm moving through the activity, right, so I can choose it. If I don't need a features description and screen tip, right, so it means that there is a tooltip, right, but I don't need a detailed description on it, or don't show at all the screen tip. So you have the options, right, to choose which ones, okay. The project view, right, now I need to have the default page when I open the MS project to be the Gantt chart with the timeline, okay, or I just need the Gantt chart without the timeline, or I can choose the resource sheet to be my main home page, right, or the Gantt. Now, in a professional way, it's always advisable to have the Gantt chart, because that's the first page that you display your activities with, and you're able to track the work accordingly, okay. And the date, right, format, so you can choose either you have the day, okay, and then you have the month and the year, or you can have the year in 4 digits, 2 digits, or you have the month first or the day first. It's option to you. Username and password, right, that you can it takes it directly from the Microsoft Office. You can take a copy of your name that's your license to you, right. And the theme we're working, the background colors we're working with, for example, I like to use the white. You can use the light gray, okay, or the white. It depends upon your viewing for the best suitable pattern of patternized view of your page that you would oversight and see. Right, show the start screen when this application starts, okay. So once you open the application, so you need to have the startup options, right, the start screen, that's the wizard, right, so you can have it, or you can decline deselect it. The second option is the display, right. So display, do you need to display the calendar you're going to use, whether it's going to be using the Hijri calendar or the Georgian calendar, okay, or the Tahi British calendar. I have used actually the Georgian and the Hijri calendars, right? Those are the most common. If you're in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, so you would be interested in using the Hijri calendar, or if you have a project, ERT is working in KSA for a customer in KSA, then Hijri, right? Or the Gregorian would be a suitable one. And the currency for the project you're going to use, you can use either the Egyptian pounds, the Saudi riyals, right? So placement, and you can say that I need to have the placement of the dollar at the beginning and then the one, or the one, the amount, right? And then the dollar, or the space between the format of the currency and the amount, or the amount and space with the currency. And you can set to the number of digits that you need, okay? Now here it says either 1 digit or 2 digits. That's the max. And the currency we're using, you have different country currencies you can use, right? So I can have the AAD, right? I can have the CAD, okay, that's another one. You can have the Egyptian pounds, right, sir. Okay, so I can say that the project is Egyptian, and automatically the symbol will change to Egyptian pounds, like that. So the riyals, right? Again, it's based onto your choice. Now, while you're working with your projects, so you need to have option buttons to be displayed, such as to showing you the resource assignment. So what is the assignments the resources are allocated upon, right? I'm able to edit. I have the privilege granted to me in order to edit onto the start and onto the finish dates of delivery. You can add to edit as well on the sort of work if you need to add duration wise, effort sizing wise, right, or the working hours or the working days duration. You can have deletions in the name column, right? So I can have, for example, if I add a column, let's say a cost variance, or add a column of a variance difference, or the VUC or the buck, right? I can remove them or I can add them. That's the options. Now, when it comes to the scheduling part, which we're going to as well be talking today about it. So for this project, I'm selecting, or for the all new projects, so either for a specific project or for the whole common projects, the upcoming projects, I need to have the week to start on in the Middle East and North Africa and the Gulf regions, right? We use Sunday is the first day of the week, right? In UK and the States and Europe, right, they use Monday, right? It's the first Saudi week. And the financial year, it starts always during the Jan. That's almost common for all the countries. Now, the default start time at work, right? Let's say we do start at 9 a.m., okay? And we finish by 6 p.m. That's the default time. So when you subtract them, it gives us a duration of 8 hours into 5 days a week, because we work 5 days, that's 40 hours. And in a month, 4 weeks, 5 days, that's 20. 5 and 4, 20. Right, and do you need to show the option of having a selection, okay, a show schedule message. Now you can see that when I pinpoint on the show schedule, I do have a tooltip, right, which I have described earlier, right, that will use a tooltip, and the first one is discussed in the general. So you can have an option with a detailed messaging, right? So when I pinpoint on the schedule, I can have. Now, do I need to have a show a scheduling message? Yes, I do have a scheduling message. That means once I have performed set a date, right, I get a message alerted, okay, on the screen on the form of a tooltip, done, or date it has been set, right? Show assignment as in either decimal or percentage. Now always we place it on percentage. How much accomplished? That's your throughput, your performance of the work being accomplished. So the schedule option for these projects, right, for that project specific or for all the projects, we need to have any new tasks to be created, okay, to be manually scheduled. Now always we have to be auto schedule. Auto schedule, it's the most preferable. If you have done a certain, let's say, an overlapping activity or a resource assigned in two activities at the same time, okay, in an overlapped activity, so the system automatically will alert you, I'll take care. That time is conflicting with that, right? So you need to either to move that date, right, or to assign another resource. That's only two actions. Or you delete that activity, which is impossible. Auto schedule tasks on. So the auto schedule will be on first will. The system will look onto your start date, and then it will look onto the finish date or the current date from the current date. Okay, but always we'll put on the, because if I'm gonna put it on the current date, so it's gonna estimate always, right? The 3rd of April is going to be the start date for every activity, which is not correct. So based on the start input that I enter, duration this should be entered. Okay, now here is in days. Okay, but I do need to put them in hours. Okay, because I could be working, we do have an 8 hours in a day, so it's more logical to say that in hours, so that when I say, for example, in the 8 hours, I worked only 2 hours and there are 6 hours out. So, but if I say I worked a day and then throughout the day, I just worked 2 hours, so what about the 6 hours? They're not accumulated, right? So it's very important to specify in hours to be very precision, to have a high precision level of accuracy, okay? Work into then hours, they will be fixed units or fixed duration or fixed work, so they'll be fixed units, hours, okay? Duration, okay, that's going to be in working days, right, or fixed work, and that means fixed work, that means it's 8 hours, 8 hours, so all activities are going to be in 8 hours. So the default tasks are being entered. New texts are effort driven, okay, and so I can choose that option, okay. Auto link, insert and move tasks, okay. So any task that should be effort driven through it. Split in the progress task, right? Now I do have what we call a split milestone, right? And actually split milestone, it means, okay, that I can split an activity that has completed, and then I'm going to take a break, that's the progress through it, for an hour. So I can split that activity and then a gap, and then the new activity that's working, that's still we're going to work onto. So for example, if I have today to work on 10 hours a project, okay, and I'm going to work 5 hours, so that's what I accomplished. I will take a break, so task split, okay, and the 5 hours that are going to start another day or the same day was in a different hour. Task will always honor their constrained dates. Yes, there should be dates. Once I set a constrained date, for example, this date is nearby delivery, so it should be an indicator that there's a delivery date that's going to be take place very soon. Show the scheduled task, have estimated durations. Yes, that means all the activities are being estimated. New scheduled tasks have estimate duration. In a new schedule we add, we have new estimates, okay. Now you do have other options, right? You calculate the project. It's very important to calculate the project, okay. Show task warnings, okay. So any activity schedule that gives a warning, you're nearby the date to give a warning, there's an overlapping, there's a delay, okay. Always keep the calculating the project on, so that you can automatically, right, the project says that you are 600 hours, 700 hours, okay. Off, it will be manually. You have to on your own way. So always keep it on, because for example, my project sponsor, right, will say that, well, the project shouldn't exceed 1,000 hours. So I'm planning my project in between the 1,000. So every time I'm adding activities and the durations, it's automatically calculating the amount of hours it takes. Right, calculating option for this project, so you can say for that specific project or for all of the new projects. So you need to update the tasks or resources. Insert the project calculated key summary task. So there should be a summary for the project. So I would say, well, I need to look over all summaries, like the tool, when we use the time or line, right? It tells me a summary of whole projects, right? So, or I can click project summary. It gives me the whole summary of the project, what are they completed. The project will take 600 hours, okay? And the milestone activities being presented. Actual costs are always calculated by the project, okay? So when we add the column of actual cost, it will be calculated by the project. And the default fixed cost accruals will be prorated. It means they will be differentiated. They will be throughout the project, needs to be calculated, not in the start, not in the end, okay? Now, proving it is the the formatting of your page, right? I need to have the words when I'm writing uppercase, ignore the word containing numbers, okay? Ignore internet and files to it, flag repeated words. So these are certain conditions you can uh, place up to your project and the way, the pattern you're going to use and the proofing. Saving the project, if you're working with 2013, 2010, you use an MBB. If you're later than that, 2007, 2003, the old ones, right? So you need to, if I'm let's say working with 2013 and I'm saving a project to a colleague, right, who's going to be working on 2007 on an old project, so I'm going to save it in that format on 2000. But always, since we're working from 2010, 2013, 2016, right? You need to be 2019, right? You need to use the MBB. Okay. Now, if you're using a certain template, right, you browse and you select that template, okay, from the location files, and you can use it as a table. Caching size should not exceed 50 MB megabytes. No. You can add different sort of languages, okay, you can use throughout your MS project. Now, when it comes to the advanced, right, so set the auto filter so you can filter with the project names, right, and you can select through it. And in the planning wizards, right, you can add advice about using the project, how, so you can have a wizard that tells you how to work out through your project, right, and it gives you a certain great guidance. For that project, the effort sizing needs to be set in a rating. Okay, I can say, for example, for this project, our rate for the resource is going to be working by default $20 per hour, $100 per hour, right? It depends for that project. For all the projects, okay. If it's all standard projects, if we're talking about the program that we're using, you can edit, you can drag and drop activity, you take it from place to place. You can select. Okay, you have move a multiple selection of items from one place. So I can take a drag a copy of certain rows, right, and place them, drag them, and drop them below. Okay, enter directly into a cell, edit directly to a cell, ask to update automatic. Custom ribbons is what you see in your popular commands. You have the menu editor at the top of the screen, like your task or resource. So you can add, I can add a copy picture. So once I click add, it will be added, right? If I need to remove, I select that option and add the remove. Okay, so it will remove the activity after I add. Okay, so once I click add and I want to remove it, so I can remove. That will able to move the task upwards and downwards the page the same. Similarly, quick access to page, you can add and remove for your saving. And add instructions of what you can view and manage any Microsoft Office. You can open any spreadsheets from here directly. The Trusted Center is your license agreement with that you are copyrighted and you're protected from any piracy, okay, and any leakage. Right, so we are on the default page of the Gantt chart with the timeline option that we had set, right? So the first thing comes first. So first thing is that before you start adding any activities, right, it's very important that you go to your project and you go into the change working time, okay? And you can see the calendar we're going to use is that if I'm working 24 hours, so I select the option of 24 hours, okay? If I'm working night shifts, right, starting from 12 to onwards to 2 p.m., right, so I can use. If it's a standard, right, in between, you can use. You can create your own calendar. You can say the name of that calendar, ERP project, and you can set the base calendar and you can make a copy from it if needed. Now, it's important that you go and you set the timelines of your working days and non-working days, okay? So you need to go to working weeks, click on the details, and then I'm going to say, for example, Sunday, since we have set it into the settings that as in MENA, Middle East and Africa, we and the Gulf region, we work on Sunday is our first day of the week, so it came by default Sunday. In United States, if we set it's Monday, so it will become the first of the week will be Monday, and Sunday will be a holiday, and Saturday. Okay, and for example, Friday it's a half day, right there. Right, so we have the use project default time for these days. So either you can use a default time That's at the full time. It starts from 8 a.m. and finishes by 12. That's at default. Or you can set the non-working timings for that activities, or I need to have a specific timing for that activity. So I would say, for example, Sunday, right? So I will say Sunday, it starts, let's say we start working from 9 a.m., right? And we finish. Now you need to add them in two timings, so 9 to 12, let's say, p.m. Zero should be nearby here, and space. And then 1 p.m. we have a break, so we start from 2 p.m. up to 6 p.m. Right, and then I'm gonna add it the same thing for Monday, for Tuesday, for Wednesday, for Thursday, but for Friday it's gonna work time. Saturday it's gonna be a non-working time. Now when I come to the exceptions, right, so you see the exception days, it means if I have national days vacations. Now inshallah we're going to be having nearby holiday Ramadan, inshallah, holiday Ramadan. So let's say we're going to say Ramadan, we're going to have it, so we're going to have half timings. So Ramadan, we're going to have an exception, right, from this date to this date. Okay, let's say I'm going to say it will be on 13th, okay, till May. Okay, and the details that I need to add is that the working time is going to change, right? So the working time, it's going to be we're going to be starting by actually 10 a.m. and we're going to be till 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. Okay, I'm gonna put it till 10 to 12. And then from 2 to 4 or 2 to 3 p.m. let's say. Daily, okay. And that's gonna be on Tuesday, 13th April. Okay. And okay, so that's set in place. If you have different timings, you can as well add. Right, so today we have seen two items, right? We have seen how to set the settings of your product from the options, right? We have to undergo the settings, right? And we've seen as well the most important part is to set your calendar. Okay, now I'm gonna save that page, right, with the name of an in my folder, let's say. Okay, I'll put it on E. Okay. Under the Qbest, right? Next time, okay, you need to control the predecessor and successors, and changing the duration into hours. Okay, and hope this session